Alright, this is TraffiCalm's TC remote, so you can remotely log into our units. This is the modem itself, M75TCR00CH00. This is the modem. Little box you're going to get. Comes with the modem. Bracketry already connected. This part is going to get attached to the solar panel in most cases, so it kind of depends on which model you have, but got that. And then we accommodate a regular old ship kit. You've seen these units that need to be banded on. Again, TraffiCalm doesn't provide the banding. Some different bolts, some longer ones in case you have a perforated pole you can go through it. And also we provide this L bracket here. The L bracket could be mounted to the post, and then the modem. Again, this has to be set flat to the earth because one, for cellular service, but most importantly, it has a tilt sensor in it, so it needs to be flat to the earth. But if you have the model where you can just connect it to the edge of the solar panel, this bracket is provided. So you will then be able to just mount it on the edge of the solar panel. Again, use the bracketry and whatnot. See, it rotates. You can loosen these up and rotate them so it sits flat to the earth. All right, so ship kits are in here with it. Now, what do you connect it to? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so depending on what model you have, we'll have like 3 different trays that you can use for TC remote, but the distinction is the board layout is all the same in all of our units. You know, the connections are radar, input, flasher, and then of course the power connector. They're all the same. Gonna have an antenna to connect to because that's how our devices communicate to each other, is through antennas. What's new though about the TC remote board is it's got this added connector because this is where the modem is going to interface. Right, it is keyed. There's a little notch there. You'll have to line it up with the notch on there and connect it. On this model, again, there's going to be a little connector like this one, and this is normally in a stainless steel box or fiberglass box. We'll grab a stainless steel box real quick. TraffiCalm got the bigger antenna now. We just started that a few weeks ago. The little round one we used to have wasn't robust enough. This tray gets a bracket that's mounted in there and held by the antenna actually. So it's sitting in here like that. And then coming off of this connector, there's going to be a hole provided on the side where you'll see that connector. Again, from the side, depending on where you're going to mount this, up on a solar panel or wherever, anyway, you can connect to that, make sure it's flat to the earth. Alright, so the other option, we have our all-in-one unit here. Again, this tray was what was in it. It's removable. Alright, so let's see. This is what you get. Alright, so the brackets are already mounted on here. Brackets are already mounted on here. This one's going to be for the antenna. And then this modem is going to get mounted up here to fit. You know, and the wire gets routed over here, connected to the connected there. All right, you don't normally ever have to take this tray out, just demonstrating that it is removable. Should this tray fail, you don't have to replace the all-in-one unit. You can sometimes just get a new tray. Nice little feature. All right, so that's our 2 main ones, the stainless steel box. This one, we also have the Z model that gets put in a terminal housing. I don't have one to demonstrate, but it's going to look similar to this. You know, again, you know, it's going to have the connection for the modem, route up, and then wherever the modem gets connected. All right, let's talk about collaborators. Any collaborator will do. So with the modem controller, it's different than our regular controller because it's got these extra connections for the modem. But our collaborators any Collaborator will do. You're just going to add a tilt sensor to it. Okay, Collaborators. Again, this is from our all-in-one unit. It's just a regular Collaborator. Nothing's unique about it to make so you can use a tilt sensor. And it's going to come with this tilt sensor. This tray comes with this tilt sensor, which is TS01. It's going to come in a box like this. These are what comes in the box. Some instructions, you know, how to connect it. You can see there's some little pins right here. It's our pick header, what we call it. And all right, so it's going to have a couple of these quick connect sensors on it. These pins here are going to go into the pick header. All right, and if you look at this drawing, it will show you that the little soldered ends where the wires are coming out, that needs to be back towards the away from the connectors. So these get connected up that way. Just take care, get them lined up good. And then this, it's going to have to go out this little hole right here. So remove the little cap. All right. Let's just start over. All right, so the tilt sensor, got it aligned. Again, the wires are soldered on this end. It's facing out this way towards the antenna connection. All right, then your tilt sensor, just so it makes more sense. Let me grab it all in one so you'll see it. All right, we're gonna route this in that hole. Make sure you're seeing that or not. There we go. So there's a little hole there. I'm not going to install the rubber grommet. This one is going to have a rubber grommet that fits in that hole. Anyway, just line these up color for color. Black to black. And these just flip open. Stick the wire in there, close it. It's nice and snug. Same. Then red to red. All right, if this unit hits the ground, the sensor will be on its side and alert the controller that, hey, I've been knocked down. So that's what that's about. Again, connected over there, flat to the earth. That's how you get the tilt sensor. Now, there is another tilt sensor, and that is going to be for a Collaborator. Again, this is a Collaborator tray for an S box, an A box, whatever. If you're going to add a tilt sensor, it's going to come in a box similar to this, except for it's going to say TS2. Yeah, this one says TS1. This is a TS2. You see the difference between them? This is actually going to get mounted right to the board. It's designed to be mounted right on the back, and then this is mounted inside a controller. Let me get the stainless steel box over here so you'll see. The Collaborators, yeah, with the more robust antenna that we're providing now. Again, we're going to connect these up like that. This is the antenna connections right here, but this sensor should come pre-mounted. You know, it'll be just mounted back there, and then there's a bracket that this tray gets connected to and held in by the antenna. So that's the tilt sensor. You know, of course, it'll be flat to the earth because you're going to mount this on a pole that's straight. All right. All right, here's an example of an all-in-one installed up on a pole already. I've got the mesh antenna, the little stick antenna. That's the communications between the devices. But what we're here for is this modem. I got it installed up there on top of the solar panel. I used the brackets that came with the modem. Let's just take a look back here what we got going on. So you can see there's a nut plate back here that came with it, and then this stuff was attached to the modem already. So just make sure it's in the right position. For whatever reason, you might have to flip it around. I don't have it tightened down. The cable here was already connected. I just routed it behind the unit to come out the other side. So we'll come out over here. You can see this is where it is. Again, this connector's notched. Make sure you line up the notch to the connector before you just go pushing it on. And then screw it down snug. Same with the antenna. Just screw it on there. Finger tight's good enough. Good little snug with the fingers. You don't have to wrench these things. All right, so there's your brackets installed, flat to the earth. Just tighten it down, you're good to go. All right, here's a tilt sensor for our all-in-one unit. This would be a Collaborator already installed on a pole. The tilt sensor right here needs to be flat to the earth. So inside the box with the tilt sensor was this bracketry. Again, there's a nut plate back here, the nut and then the bracketry. So install it in such a way that you can wiggle this around to get it flat to the earth. And then route the cable over to the other side of the all-in-one box. And a little rubber grommet that came on the unit, get it in the hole right there. Route that in. And then the other part on the tray itself, you can see these two wires are facing away from all those green connectors. So it shows it in the wiring diagram that comes with the tilt sensor, but just get them, and it has these WAGO connectors. Again, just line up red to red, black to black. That's it. Got your tilt sensor installed.